All right. I'd like to call to order the Wednesday, March 9th, 2022 URA meeting. Roll call, please.
Chairperson Frieden.
Here.
Board Member Conley.
Present.
Board Member Blum.
Here.
Excuse me for a second. Board Member Letts.
Here.
Board Member Ross.
Okay. We have 4 of us, so we're good. The first item on the agenda is visitors communication.
I have none.
We have no communication. Okay. Move on to the consent agenda. Probably need a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Chairperson Frieden.
Aye.
Board Member Conley.
Aye.
Board Member Blum.
Aye.
Board Member Letts.
Aye.
All right, consent agenda is passed. On to agency business. Public hearing and consideration of resolution 2022-02. Do I need to open the public hearing? I'll open the public hearing, and looks like we can hear from Joe.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you.
Joe.
So this supplemental budget, as you know, is regarding the East Portal acquisition. The URA's portion of the East Portal acquisition is $550,000 of the $675,000 total price. So I'm just going to try to go through just the dynamics of the URA, and the city is going to be a little bit involved in this as well. And as you know, the URA has 2 funds, right? It's got the debt service fund, and that's where the property taxes come in, and that is where the debt service is paid out of. That's the sole purpose of the debt service fund. And the project fund is what its name says. It's in charge of doing projects. You know, the Adams Avenue streetscape and land acquisitions and things like that, that takes place in the project fund. The tricky thing is getting those tax dollars and the fund balance from the debt fund to the project fund. Unfortunately, state statute says you cannot just directly do that because the debt fund is solely for paying debt, right? So the way to address that is the city of Sisters will loan the URA $550,000, its portion of the East Portal purchase price. So that $550,000 will come from the city and go into the URA project fund. Okay, so they're basically loaning them that money. And that creates a loan. The debt service fund from the URA will pay that loan, will pay the city. So that's the dynamic of that transaction. Does that make sense? So it's all about, I know it's kind of a little bit silly, but it's all about, you know, what the statute is allowing the district and the funds in the district to do. So that's essentially what we're doing here is we're transferring those funds and making those funds available in the Urban Renewal Project Fund. And so that all happens simultaneously. We're kind of taking some due diligence steps just to make sure that there's no IGA that needs to be done. We're comfortable doing this transaction, but we want to make sure that if there's an IGA that needs to be done between the URA and the city, that we can do that. And that's something that we're just working on. But for this purpose, we're comfortable with making this transaction. So, and then I think that's basically the gist of it. But if you have any questions or this is kind of running through your brain as you're falling asleep tonight, as a lot of finance stuff does, right? Then I'm happy to answer any questions. But it's kind of a funky dynamic. We did touch on it, I think, in the budget process a little bit, but that's the way it has to be for this kind of transaction.
Do you want them to text you if it comes through their mind tonight at about
Absolutely,
9:45?
yeah, I'll be up waiting.
Sorry, I don't have anything to add, but if you all want a brief project update on that, we can cover it either after the public hearing or at the end of the council meeting and other business. Up to you guys. So.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other public comment within this public hearing?
Sue Stafford, do you have any public comment?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
Okay,
We have none.
I'll close the public hearing then, and now we can have our deliberations and questions, and now's the time, I guess.
Now's the time. You say that the way it's set up, we can't do the exchange directly. Is there a reason why that was done that way? Do you know? I mean, because it makes it by us, it looks like we're circumventing.
Yeah, we're like finding a loophole, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, so, I mean, I wouldn't know how to explain to somebody, well, if they won't allow you to do that directly, then why would it be legal for you
Yeah.
to loan it the money? And, because that's in essence the same thing.
Well, that is a great question, and one of the things that we have as some of our staff objectives is to evaluate debt service for the URA, because ideally, the URA goes and gets $6 million worth of debt, and it goes directly into the project fund, and then the debt service just pays that debt off. Ideally, that's how it would work. Being that we just paid our debt off and we don't have any currently, we don't have any resources in the project fund to use. So that is basically why.
Okay.
So we're borrowing, we're basically using the city as our own bank,
Right.
so to speak. And like I said, ideally, and probably in the near future, we will be going out for a large amount of debt service, and we would have all of that fund balance available to us in the project fund to do a lot of these other projects that are in the URA plan.
Okay.
So basically, because we have no debt, we're
Yeah.
not allowed to spend any money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to
And
create-
the
so we have to
project fund-
create debt to spend money.
Right, and the project fund has little balance, right? It's
Right.
only accrued interest, since I've been here, so there's not a
Okay.
lot of funds in there.
I'm good.
It's a little bit like Monopoly. It seems
Yeah.
easy, but
Here,
then there's
I'll
some
give you
obscure
some money.
rules.
Use some
So-
money.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have any questions? Any other questions?
How are the auditors going to be happy with this system? Is it normal to them, or are we going to have a little evaluation note again?
No, I think that's one of the things we'll make sure our T's are crossed, our I's are dotted, as, we took some steps to consult Elaine, and she gave us some advice from other legal counsel, but, our auditors are definitely the most picky of the group, and that's what it comes down to. Will they see this as a talking point or point of emphasis? They'll probably take a good look at that, and that's why we're taking the measures to make sure that if we need to have an IGA, we can make one, between the city and the URA, things like that. So I think that this seems like a common practice, although it seems that I don't know why. I don't know why it has to be this way, to kind of Councilor or Board Member Blum's point. But we'll make sure that we address that, so it's not something that's brought up later.
Councilor Les, do you have anything?
Nope, those were both good questions, so.
Yeah, they're great questions. I mean, it's, okay. Thank you. I think we can entertain a motion at this point.
Were you going to do a project update, or?
I was maybe we don't have it slated on the agenda, but I was just recommending, since this is the scope of the public hearings for the supplemental budget, to just finish that, and then if you want a project update, to provide that.
I move to adopt and approve resolution 2022-02.
I second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Carrie, please.
Chairperson Frieden,
Aye.
Board Member Conley,
Aye.
Board Member Blum,
Aye.
Board Member Letts.
Aye.
All right. You passed. Since there's, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Nothing more on the agenda, so I will adjourn the meeting, urban renewal meeting, right? Let's,
Adjourn the public hearing.
Did you all just want a real brief? Okay, and there isn't a lot to share other than that we're continuing to coordinate with the Forest Service, and we have seen a draft purchase and sale agreement. We've reviewed that. We had a couple minor changes. Again, nothing substantive. And then we've sent it back to them last week with the request to try to hit April 8th, which is the Friday before the April 13th council meeting. They said we can certainly try. So we'll take that. If it isn't on that meeting date, hopefully it'll be the second meeting in April, the 27th. So still moving along there. There is a retirement of someone who we've been working with closely on this for a while. Lisa, who also was really very helpful with the other sales of the Forest Service land and cleaning up easements and some of the components that go into that land sale. But they've assured us, they got others on the team who are briefed and working on it as well. So that's tonight was an important step to make the funds available in the budget, and then actually bringing the purchase and sale agreement next month is the next formal step.
All right, anybody have any questions about that?
I guess the only other piece is that we are working on developing a request for proposals for the mobility hub master planning. And we've coordinated with ODOT and we've confirmed with ODOT that they're okay with us going out and getting proposals and drafting a contract, but not approving the contract or incurring any funds until after the purchase and sale agreement has been approved. So that all makes sense, that we're trying to align those, but we're not gonna enter the contract and start doing any master planning until after we've had the purchase and sale agreement approved. But nonetheless,
Just getting ready for it.
feet under the water of the Swan, we are moving. So
Will the master plan, does that need to come first before we start talking to ODOT about maybe splitting the property and them buying what they want?
not really, because it is the footprint of what they want and what they need for the state highway system is clear. We want to confirm with them that line is where it is, and we want to talk to them about the southern road, which is actually part of Cascade technically, because we may want that section to be able to do on-street parking or something that is symbiotic with the site. So we do need to sort that out with them, but I don't think we need to wait. I would envision those happening concurrently. Yeah.
Okay. All right, now I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.